Mike Carter, good morning. President-elect of Potomac and Chesapeake, about to receive the gavel. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Couple of things I'd like to talk about this morning. Would you tell us a little bit about how you got started down the path of being an admissions professional?
Well, actually, you talk about something coming out of left field. I had originally, my ambition was to teach at the college level. After the Army, I went to graduate school, got my PhD, was a journeyman adjunct professor, and my wife said, we can't do this one semester to one semester thing, and so a friend of mine from graduate school said, Mike, you really like working with the students, and you should really think about teaching in an independent school. So, interviewed, was hired by St. Stephen's of St. Agnes as a history teacher, walked in as part of my interview, because I had been in the Army and the corporate world for a short stint, I had done some management. I let the head of school know, if any leadership positions come up, let me know, and then went on my way and was teaching AP US history to the 11th graders and having a great time coaching and really enjoying the independent school, high school world. A couple positions came and went, Dean of Students and Associate Head of Upper School, and I got picked to be on a search committee for one of them, and I thought, well, there's a message for me. These things have come up, and then at the start of my third year at the school, my head, Joan Holden, came to me and said, we'd like you to consider being one of the college counselors. Brian Leipheimer is leaving and going down to Richmond, and he's not leaving until the end of the year, so keep this between ourselves. Would you consider it? And I was like, what does a college counselor even do? And so I went home and I talked to my wife about it, and I said, okay, sure, I can do this. And that was 12 years ago, and it's been a long, long ride. Lisa Pence was my first director, and as you know, there was no school for college counseling. It was all OJT, and learned from somebody that I consider one of the best, and she was the one who brought me to my first PCACAC meeting in Williamsburg.
You just anticipated my next question. That's an interesting story. Although there isn't any formal training program for admissions officers, I know a lot in this profession who have come out of history as a discipline. That's probably one of two or three areas where I think that happens fairly often. And your story is also sort of interesting relative to another one we heard yesterday, someone who had been working on a doctorate planning to teach post-secondary level, and in a different way wound up doing the sorts of things that we do as school counselors and admissions folks. Do you have a favorite mentoring story or anecdote, someone who has supported you along the way, or someone that you have been able to do that for?
Certainly one of several mentors in Potomac and Chesapeake. Jim Jump, Arlene Ingram, Sue Rexford have all helped me at various times. I think at the end of my third year of being a college counselor, Lisa Pence left and went to Holton Arms to become director of their upper school. And it was decided that I would take over as director of college counseling. Well, that coincided with our VAIS 10-year accreditation, and who should arrive on my doorstep to interview me as I'm taking over the reins of being responsible for everything in the office instead of just my kids was Jim Jump. And Jim was fantastic. He spent a long time talking to me through a bunch of things, getting to know me, and ever since then has he laid the foundation for a great relationship. And since then, he has, I know, supported me behind the scenes and formally and informally, and connecting with him has just, he's been really a great mentor all along over the past decade, and it's been one of those connections that has been great, because he was one of the people that when I first started going to PCACAC, he was the one standing up there and talking about how he found his way into college counseling, and that struck a chord with me. So
yeah, all right. Do you see any particular issues that are going to be particularly challenging for organizations such as our Potomac and Chesapeake State and Regional in the next few years? I mean, the world is changing pretty rapidly around us. I've seen our profession go from a strong counseling focus to one on marketing to one more heavily focused on technology. What do you see around the bend in the road?
I think the biggest challenge for PCACAC and NACAC is to ensure that we are a resource for people to come to. We have to be the voice of experience. We have to be who legislators, educators, college presidents go to for the answers when it comes to college admissions and the college process. If we've been around long enough, in just 2 short years, PCACAC celebrating its 50th, we need to be the collective wisdom of college admission counseling, and people need to know that. We have lots and lots of initiatives. We've got wonderful people, as we've seen already in the conference, who present, and we need to continue to make that a resource available to more and more people, so that it's, as you said, with everything changing so rapidly, instead of being in a position to run to try and keep up with what's happening, we need to be out ahead and leading the way, and people are coming to Potomac and Chesapeake and to NACAC asking us, which way do we go?
I think that relates very strongly to the comment that was made in the Cracker Barrel yesterday by a panelist who said, I'm free to admit that I don't know how to repair my automobile. I hope parents and, by inference, legislators will recognize that they don't know as much as they think they do about the process and transition from school to college. So I think you're right on target with that comment. Mike Carter, thank you very much for spending a few minutes with us as part of our project. Good luck in your presidential year ahead.
Thank you very much, and thank you for doing this. This is going to be a wonderful record for our association.
Good.